Hello everybody and welcome back to another video, and if you're new here it's really lovely to meet you and you are so welcome. I'm Jane and my husband Mike is behind the camera. We're British, early retirees, debt and mortgage free and living a thrifty, frugal and money saving life on a super tight budget here in Brittany in northwest France. And every Friday we bring you something food related. It could be menu planning, it could be a shopping haul, it could be something I cooked, or today it is some batch cooking. Now I do not batch cook every week, I do not even batch cook every month. It is literally as and when the mood takes me. As we're coming into autumn, and autumn seems to be upon us very quickly, there are jobs that we need to get done because it will soon be winter. So by getting some batch cooking done, it gives me some easy meals in the freezer that I can take out. There'll be further prep to do with them, but not a massive amount of prep. For example, I have made some pie filling. I'll just have to make the pastry, pop it in the pie filling, and we're away. So I'll preempt some of the questions. I do freeze them in Ziploc bags and foil dishes. The foil dishes get washed and used again, and then they get recycled. The Ziploc bags that have had stuff in like gravy or meat, to be sterile, they would have to be boiled afterwards. I have tried boiling them and the bag loses their integrity. So no, I do not use those bags again after I have frozen some meals in it, for example, like spaghetti sauce. I do use them again if I've used them for sandwiches. I do use them again if I've used them for things like bread or cakes. But no, I do not use them again if it's things like spaghetti sauce. So I'm going to get cooking. Let me think about what I've cooked today, because when I'm talking to you now, it is a few days after that. I've made cottage pie. I've made beef bourguignon. I've made sweet and sour chicken. I've made chicken leek and chicken and leek pie filling. And I have made, you'll have to watch and see, because like I said, it's a few days later and it slipped my mind. But anyway, enjoy the video. Okay, let's have a quick run through of everything I've got on the table and everything I'm going to make. I've got the potatoes are going to go in the cottage pie. I've got the minced pork and the minced beef is going to go into the cottage pie. Why have I got minced pork? Because minced beef is so expensive. I'm going to add minced pork to it. The onions are going to go in everything. I've got chicken defrosting is going to go into 2 chicken and leek pies. Huge pot here, almost a kilo of minced beef. I'm going to make several portions of bolognese sauce. I've got 2 packets of stewing beef here. I'm going to cook that into beef bourguignon in my instant pot. A couple of packets there of chicken. That is going to go into a sweet and sour chicken. I've got the lardons is going to go into the beef bourguignon. It's going to go in the cottage pie, and it's also going to go in the bolognese. I've got the carrots, the celery, and the onions going to form a mirepoix or sofrito, and that's going to go in everything. That is the flavour base. I've got a bottle of cheap €2 red wine. It's going to be split between the bolognese and the bourguignon. I've got peppers, onions and carrots are going to go into the stir fry. I've got a bottle of pineapple juice over there. Is going to form the base of my sweet and sour sauce. With the addition, I've already got a tin of pineapple there. I've got stock pots, little pots of concentrated stock, which is going to go in everything. And I've got tins of tomatoes that are in my, from my larder. You can see at the back of the room here, I've got things set up and ready. The food processor for chopping things. I'll get my Instant Pot out and ready, and I'll show you how many pots I have on the go at any one time to get all of this done in one cooking session. Saves me so much time, and I will fill a drawer in the freezer with meals for the future. Here is meal number 1. In my Instant Pot, I have sauteed the bacon and the beef. I then added in the roughly chopped celery, carrots and onion. I added in a couple of stock pots, a half bottle of red wine, and then about half a litre of water. I'm now going to put this on to pressure cook for 1 hour. Whilst that's cooking, I'll get on to the other dishes that I'm cooking. Dish number 2. I have in here frozen minced beef, chopped lardons, and I have a sofrito here, mirepoix, whichever language you choose to use, of carrots, onion and celery, and I finely mince that in the food processor. Pop it all in. As soon as it has rendered down and sauteed down, I'll add in red wine, tinned tomatoes, some garlic powder, and just leave that to simmer with, again, a couple of stock pots and some salt and some pepper. Let's get on to dish number 3. I had minced beef, I had some bacon, I had some celery, carrots and onion. I sauteed them. I then made a beef stock gravy to go in there. Those are in the bottom of tin dishes. I always do quite a lot of vegetables and potato on top, and I make a separate gravy so I don't have this too wet when I cook it. In here I've peeled a load of potatoes and I've got about 1/4 of a bag of leeks. If you've never tried mashed potatoes with leeks, it's really, really good. It's something I used to do when my kids were young to get more vegetables in them, and I've done it ever since. It works really well. So I will cook the potatoes and the leeks. I will then mash it down with some butter, pop it on top of the minced beef and vegetables, and that's ready to cool. And when it's completely cold, I won't cook it anymore. I'll put the lids on, label it and freeze it. Okay, let's get on to meal number 1, 2, 3, 4. So this is the chicken and leek pie filling. So I have got in here 3 small onions, 100 grams of lardons, 1/4 of a bag of frozen leeks, 4 chicken breasts chopped up, and a lump of butter and salt and pepper. I'm going to saute this down and I will make a white sauce to go with this, and that will cool down and that will go into freezer bags with enough in each bag for each of us to have for a pie filling or for us just to eat as a casserole. So let's get that cooking. In here I have the cooked potatoes, the cooked leeks. I'm going to mash these down with my spoon, get them on top of the meat and ready to freeze. The beef bourguignon has had 1 hour in the Instant Pot. Everything's really tender. I'm just going to thicken this sauce. I added in, you can see here, I've added in a few tinned mushrooms. I always have a tin of mushrooms spare. So they've gone in. I'm going to thicken this. I will leave this to cool. This will then be portioned into containers to be frozen. And that's it. That one is done. So let's just check where we are so far. I've got the bolognese sauce, which needs to be cold before I can bag it. I've got 2 large cottage pies here. Each of this will feed 4 people, so we'll have it for dinner one night and we'll plate it up. We'll have it for dinner the next night as well. And you can see here I've written cottage pie on the top and it's September 23. It'll be eaten within October for sure. By the end of October, everything I've cooked today will be gone. So there we go. The bolognese is cooling down. And with the ladle that's in there, I know that 3 ladles is enough for one meal for Mike and I. So into each bag I will put 3 ladles full, but it does have to be cold. There's the cottage pies, and then over here is the chicken, the leek, the bacon, and I finished that off by making a white sauce. So you saw I put some butter in there. I added about 3 tablespoons of corn flour, cooked that through, and then I added in probably half a litre of milk and 100 grams of Emmental cheese and some pepper. Again, this is going to sit on the side. This has to be really cold before I can bag this up. And this here will make 2 large pies, and each pie will feed us for 2 nights. We are now on to the final dish, dish number 5. I'm doing sweet and sour chicken. I have 4 chicken breasts cut up, I have a red pepper, I have a yellow pepper, I have 3 onions, and I have some light vegetable oil. That's going to be it. The sweet and sour sauce, I have to try and remember what's in here now. I know there's gluten-free soy sauce, there's vinegar, there's pineapple juice, there's sugar, and I've just brought this to the boil. I've got corn flour and cold water. I'm going to stir that through to make the sauce. This I'm just going to stir fry it till everything's cooked, combine it with the sauce, leave it to cool, and bag it up into 2 bags for 2 meals another day. There is my sweet and sour sauce. I'll leave the link to the recipe below, but I thought it was a bit sweet and I added in about 30 millilitres more cider vinegar. Here's my cooked chicken and cooked vegetables, and I've chopped up and put in here half a tin of pineapple, and we're going to enjoy eating the rest of the pineapple. So the next thing I'll just do, because that's now cooked, this is cooked, I'll combine the two, stir it together and leave it to cool, and then I will portion it and I will freeze it. Whilst everything is cooling down, I'll show you how I get it into my freezer bags. So I label the freezer bags first, so I know this is sweet and sour chicken, it will serve 2. And I fold the bags over at the top, pop them in a container, and then fill them up in there, and then flip the top up and seal it by squeezing some of the air out. And I put them in the freezer flat, so they take up less space. But it's be very careful when you do that to make sure that you go into the freezer every now and then and pull them apart, otherwise they will all completely set solid. So here's how I cool everything. So this is the meat pasta sauce, this is the chicken and leek pie filling, this is obviously the 2 cottage pies. They're almost cold, they can go into the freezer at any moment. This is the beef bourguignon, that is still hot, that will take a while to cool down. And this here is the sweet and sour chicken. And go in. That turned out to be really, really, really good. In fact, it all turned out to be really good. It's really frustrating because I cook all of this and now I'm really hungry and I need to get this put away and actually cook my dinner for tonight. So I'm going to just leave this now for about another hour, and then I should be able to get this into the freezer. So it's later on in the evening, everything has gone all cold in these bags now, and you can see here I put serves for, so that means we'd be able to have pasta sauce and pasta and meat sauce for 2 days, for 2 nights dinners. And I've got 3 bags of that. Then I've got the sweet and sour chicken, which again will do us for you about maybe 3 portions, could be 2, could be 3, could be 2, could be 3. Then we have the chicken pie filling, so each one will fill a big pie. The pie will feed us for 2 days. Then over here in these, I have got my beef bourguignon, my lovely beef casseroles, great big, huge big chunks of beef in there. And that's dinner for one night, it's dinner for another night. And I had loads of spare gravy, and it's Saturday when I'm filming this, so we've got Sunday tomorrow. We'll have some roast pork, and I've got a big pot of gravy to go with that from the beef. So roast pork with beef gravy, I think it will be okay. I think it'll be okay. So these are now all flat and cold. I will get these into the freezer. I will check them in the morning because, as I said, they can all, if we're not careful, stick together. Massive thanks to everybody who watches. Thanks to all the supporters of the channel who hit that subscribe button and especially who hit the like button. We really appreciate it. Thank you very much. We'll see you soon. Bye for now.